You are meant to walk this road alone. No warrior wins a battle by himself. Rather, we're leading, grinding, or serving. In all things, we need to make sure that we have brothers by our side. Because if we try to do this walk alone, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And that's what I want to talk about today is growing a brotherhood and why being intentional with those who are around you is so important to your success, not only as a father and husband, but also as a disciple of Christ. And what I want to talk about is just the difference between friends and brothers. So obviously we have friends on Twitter, on X, or on Facebook, but those aren't real friends. I'm talking about brothers who you can rely on, who will pray for you, who will come to you at 3 o'clock in the morning and help you, talk to you, help you, however that may look like. We're talking about those real friends and those real brothers who will do anything for you to succeed and will celebrate your victories and help you in your defeats. Or in another way, help you in the victories and help you in the valleys. The biggest thing is God designed us for brotherhood. So we look back at, Genesis when God made Eve for Adam. It's not good for man to be alone. Though in that context, he's talking about a helper with Eve. In the same vein, it's not good for a man to walk through his spiritual relationship alone either. We need men to come up alongside us to help us take steps in our faith, steps in our leadership, and steps in our growth. And the thing is, isolations, as we see, is weakness. The devil loves when we're by ourselves. He attacks us when we're by ourselves, whether that's physically or spiritually. He loves to know that you're a man of God who's just chosen to isolate himself and not give yourself over to true biblical community or brothers who are willing to pray and fight for you spiritually. And he loves that because that makes you weak. And not many men want to hear that. We hear the lone wolf mentality that you can do this alone, but that's all false. That's a lie that the world tells you. If you're a lone wolf, you're only being surrounded by other wolves who are stronger than you, who are willing to take you out. And the thing is, you need a wolf pack. You need men who are willing to pray for you, serve you, help you in the valleys, and praise you in the mountaintops. And we just need to have men who are willing to take your life from the top to bottom and just support you and to care for you. And if that's not something that you have right now, I implore you to seek that out. Rather that's at a church or through some hobbies that you have. You just need to be seeking some godly men who are willing to pour into your life and somebody that you're willing to pour into as well, to build a community that is obviously built for not only your success, but their success as well. And you see here, I'm not in the gym right now. That's something that, not something I just teach, but something that I'm living out. Right now, I'm on a retreat or on a trip with the brotherhood that I've built intentionally. And we're here in Kentucky. We're having a blast. We're enjoying each other's company. But there's definitely something that we've talked about. We talked about our wives, talked about our kids. I've just really just poured into each other, talking about some adventures that we're having, some different business things that were going on. And obviously, Grind and Glorify has come up a few times, rather in future plans or things that we're doing right now. Obviously taking time out today to do the podcast. I promise y'all again, sorry so much for the technical difficulties previously. But the thing is here is God made us to seek out that community and to seek out men who are willing to pour into us. Even Jesus had a circle. He had a brotherhood. He had 12 disciples, 12 apostles who he poured into, him, who helped him, who helped feed him, who helped serve him, who helped feed and serve with him. And this is the thing, you need men, rather it's 12, for me it's 5 other men, so 6 in total. Whatever that number looks like, the thing is, it's not the number, it's the quality, right? It's better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, especially when it comes to friendships. So you need to be seeking out who's going to really be with you when times get tough. Who's going to be willing to pour into you and tell you God's truth when that's maybe not the thing you want to hear, but that's what you need to hear. Who are the men who are going to be willing to listen to you cry about your, marriage? Who's going to be the men that's going to really pour into you when times get tough for your children? Like, those are some real conversations you need to have. Those are conversations that we've had with the many men in our group. And that's something you need to find for yourself. You need to be intentional with that and know that that's a necessity in your walk with God. And just brotherhood sharpens and protects you. So this is the thing. I talk about just men who are willing to come alongside you. We've heard the proverb in Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron. That's so true. You need men who are going to hold you accountable. It's not just to walk through life and do what you want. No, you need some biblical men, some godly men who are going to sit there and hold you accountable to God's truths. Not because they are seeking to, get you in trouble because they love you so much. They want you to live in God's world. They want you living in God's truth. And the thing is if you're not doing that, it's their duty to call you out, especially if you sought out that brotherhood, sought out that either discipleship group or what have you. You really need men in your life who you've given the, I guess, authority to speak into your life, not only for your personal life, but again, as we become men, as we become disciples of Christ, we're going to slowly become fathers. We're going to become husbands. And this is the thing. We need men who are going to speak into our life and build us and grow us and mold us into Christ and not themselves. Because there's so many men out there, guys. There's so many men out there who are willing to give you the right answer, who are going to give you a course and tell you this is what it means to be a man. But I'm letting you know now, man, biblical manhood is something that we need to be seeking in the church, in the faith, and most importantly, through God's word. So we're sitting here as iron sharpens iron. You need to be seeking out godly men who are going to sharpen you, and you need to make sure that you're willing to do the same for them. And it just talks about in Ecclesiastes 4:29, the two are better than one, right? So you need somebody who's going to fight the battles with you. Again, like I said in the opening, no lone warrior wins a war by himself. You need to make sure that you're going to war, going to battle every day against Satan, against sin, against the world, not by yourself, but with the brother in Christ who's willing to die for you and that you're willing to die for him. Let me be real honest with you. The men upstairs, I'm willing to die for them, rather spiritually, physically, whatever that looks like. I'm willing to die for them to not only know Christ, but also that they may embolden their faith and may strengthen it. There's men up there who just became Christians just a few years ago, or even this past year. There's men who've been walking in their faith for years, if not decades now. And this is the thing. Those men, I have chosen intentionally to walk with them, and they know Christ and they know God. And they've called me out personally, either, comically and joking, but in all seriousness, they've been able to pour into my life, and they've been a huge blessing to go into battle with. And that's somebody that you need to be seeking out, is who are you willing to go to war with. And those are the men that you need to make sure that they know they have all authority to hold you accountable to, rather that's physical goals, working out. There's a brother up there who he calls me out every single moment he can when I'm faltering. And I praise him and I thank him for that. Even though we joke and, we're not about that. But the thing is, he's going to call me out about that because he knows where my goals are and where my heart is to be fit for my family. And same spiritually, we're able to go deep in the word and have those biblical conversations. And he knows he has all authority to speak into my life, especially when I'm going off a path and I need to be redirected to God and to his word. And just let me tell you, brotherhood challenges you, but it also strengthens you. And this is the thing, you hear a cord of three strands is stronger than one. You need to make sure, again, that you are just building your brotherhood who is stronger than yourself. Because I'm telling you, man, you are not strong enough on your own. I'm sorry. The lone wolf mentality that the world has told you is a lie. You being by yourself, being a lone wolf, is not strong enough to fight sin and the devil. It is just an easy target. And it's easy prey for him to reach on your weaknesses. And let me tell you, 3, 2, just whatever number is greater than 1, and it's so much stronger, especially because I have 5 men up there who we're praying for each other, we're working in each other's life, we're building each other up. Let me tell you, 6 is a lot stronger than 1, 10 times out of 10. So you need to be able to find your 12, your 6, your one other. You need to be able to seek out your brother and be able to intentionally walk in faith and be able to hold him accountable, and most importantly, him hold you accountable. And then brotherhood, again, like I said, it must be built. It's not found. It's something that you intentionally seek. Now, for me, as silly as it may sound, my initial brotherhood began on Xbox during COVID. A lot of my buddies from college, we played Xbox together, and we knew we were brothers in faith, and we kind of started having deeper conversations. We couldn't have conversations face to face because due to COVID and things like that. And we just had conversations just built from, one brother to another brother, and just ended up being 5 of us. And my cousin most recently joined our brotherhood, joined our group chat, as you would say. And it's been amazing to have him in it. But the thing is, most importantly, is it's intentional. It's not something that you just sit around and it comes to you. It's something that you have to seek out. So rather that's as dumb as getting on Xbox and your boys, that they're men of faith and you're going to preach and hopefully they reach out to you and they hold you accountable and you give them that liberty in your life, or that's men at your small group. Most churches have men ministries. Or I would even just seek out, if you don't have a men's ministry at your church, find one locally that you know that's pouring into other men. And if you don't have one near you, find an elder or a deacon or an older man in your church who just will be able to disciple you and just pour into you and point you in the right direction for a proper brotherhood that'll hold you accountable. Those are all things I think you just have to be intentional with, right? Proverbs 13:20 talks about walk with the wise and become wise. You need to find men who are not where you're at, but where you want to be. My first mentor is a man who is many years older than me, my dad's age. And I just found him and said, hey, brother, I don't know what my life's going to look like, but I know I want it to look like yours. So you need to be able to walk with wise men, godly men, and be able to just have them pour into you and allow you to serve and pour into them as well. And the thing is, community just doesn't happen. You have to choose it, but then you also have to fight for it. Again, our community started during COVID, and it's been very easy for us to split up. Many reasons. We've all moved to different states. One of us lives all the way in Michigan, and we make a point to fight for our community, to fight for our time together. Rather that's as silly as a few hours on Xbox or this trip that we have every year to get together and fellowship and just be able to enjoy time together, just to pour into one another. It just encourages as we go throughout the rest of our year, because it's tough, especially when we are in different states or different part of the same state, and we don't get to see each other as often as we would have said college or what have you. And the thing is, being able to just spend time together, to encourage the fellowship, to just hang out and be boys, play a little poker, hang out, whatever that may look like. It's awesome to have that brotherhood, to have those men know that they have your back, and that in all things, you know that you have theirs. And the thing is, when you have a brotherhood, it's not what they can do for you, it's what you can do for them. You need to be able to serve your brothers, invest in them, and protect that bond that God's given you. So it's not about, what can I get out of that relationship? What can I get out of brotherhood? But the most important thing is, what can you give to them? If you live in a mindset of give and not take, man, you will be so much more fruitful in your life in just general. But I'm talking about when it comes to our brotherhood, you got to constantly think of, what can I be giving to my brothers? Can I be giving encouragement? Can I be giving prayers? Can I be giving maybe networking in context with their business? The thing is, we need to be building each other up physically, mentally, vocationally, but most importantly, spiritually. We need to be checking in and realizing where is their heart at and where are they at in their lives, so that we can constantly be honest with one another, but we can be talking through the tough things in our life, and we can be praying for those things, because again, 6 in my case is a lot stronger than the 1. Now, something I want you to reflect on as you think about, brotherhood and the intentionality of building that is, who is your brotherhood? Do you have a brotherhood right now? If you don't, again, I would encourage you, go to your local church, go find, some friends in a group that are godly, whatever that may look like. Find you some godly men, whether older or the same age. I would advise you maybe older initially, because you want some wisdom in who to choose and who to build your circle with. But if you have a solid circle, you need to start investing in them. Okay? And then you need to be thinking about, are you choosing community, or are you coasting through isolation? So are you choosing intentionally to build a community around you to not only better you, but to serve other men and to be able to build a brotherhood? Or are you just choosing isolation to be weak? In all honesty, if you're isolated, you're as weak as they come. And just because you think, I'm a big dog, I'm a lone wolf, and I can do it, you can't. Sorry. And you've probably seen that, and you're still lying to yourself. It's all about brotherhood. It's about community. That's what Grind to Glorify is about. We're here to build men, build disciples of Christ, and bold leaders with purpose. And to all that purpose, no matter what that is to glorify God. And the biggest thing is, for you need to make sure that you have men who are willing to die for you, willing to go those extra inches with you. The thing is, you need to make sure that you're willing to go those extra inches for them. You're willing to die for them. And that's maybe extreme. And that doesn't take, that's not instant. It takes time. But that's definitely something you need to be fighting for, as a brotherhood now that you grow in and that you're able to go to bat with. Something that I grew up with personally is my father had a brotherhood, and I knew those men, and not by words but by actions, I knew those men were willing to die for each other. In all honesty, they grew up together. I've heard stories about them physically willing to fight some not some nice people, and willing to go to bat for one another, but also spiritually, those men pray for each other. Those men are thinking about each other. They give each other different opportunities in their vocation. The thing is, they're building each other up, and it's all for the glory of God. And that was something that was exemplified in my life, and I saw it as something that I knew I needed to have sooner or later, and God blessed me with that slowly but surely. But that's something that's very intentional that you need to have. And I just want to encourage you, do not give into isolation. Don't give into that lone wolf mentality. For lack of a better word, in all honesty, the lone wolf mentality is crap. It's a lie. You need community. You need a brotherhood that's going to strengthen you. And most importantly, you need to be thinking about how can I strengthen my brotherhood. And the last thing, like I was just touching on, how are you serving the people around you? You need to be thinking giving first, not taking. How am I giving my time? How am I giving my money? How am I giving my talents? What are you giving to your brotherhood? What are you giving to the men around you to encourage them, to serve them, to glorify God through what you do? You need to be thinking, what am I giving to these men that is ultimately giving glory to God and that's helping them out? Because if you just live in a take mentality, nobody wants to be around that, because it's just, for lack of a better word, it's exhausting. Everybody wants a man who's willing to give. And if all 6 men, if we're all giving, we're just going to be abundantly better than if we were all taking. So I just want to encourage you, how are you serving the people around you? And one thing I want to just take you, just my call to action this week is, I want you to call a brother. And if you don't have one, if you have a local church, I want you to find an elder or a deacon in that church. But I want you to call a brother. I want you to confess some sin in your life, which is very difficult. But let me tell you, being vulnerable is always the first step to building brotherhood. Being vulnerable, being honest. I want you to be able to confess one thing to that brother and just say, hey, can you be praying for this for me? And then I want you to ask, how can I be praying for you? Something I want to encourage you, that happened to me recently. I had a brother reach out to me about merch for Grind to Glorify. It's a guy that I went to college with. And we had a whole business conversation about the merch and the things that we're going to do for this community. And the last thing he did, that is something he's always done even in college, but really just brought me back, is he asked me how he could be praying for me. Now, I haven't talked to him in almost 10 years. And the last thing he said was, how can I be praying for you, brother? And that led me just to remember, that's what true brotherhood is praying, is seeking out opportunities to encourage one another, whether that's vocationally in the hobbies that we have, or that's even just in life in our spiritual battles. How can I be praying for you? So that's something I want you to confess, encourage a brother, and pray for a brother. And I want you to show up for somebody, whether that's serving or that's just a phone call. Show up for a brother if you can, to whether that's something that they deem important, or that's something that they want people at, or that's a conversation they want to have, whatever that may look like. Show up for somebody. All right. And again, keep that giving mentality, especially when it comes to brotherhood. So secondly, what I want you to do is just send me a message. I want to know, do you have a circle? And then tag them in this and let them know, hey, you're my circle. That'd be super awesome to just hear, hey, these guys are my circle. I'm committing to them. And that'd be awesome just to hear their thoughts and mindset around brotherhood from this video. And then lastly, I just want to remind you, you weren't meant to go this alone, but you're supposed to have a band of brothers to take you step by step, to pick you up when you're down, and you're supposed to be picking others up when they're down. And make sure that brotherhood, when you're going through day-to-day life, when you're going through battles, you're going to grind together, you're going to work together, and most importantly, you're going to glorify together. So go out there, take care of business. I'm super excited about what God has in store for us. So go out there, be encouraged, go find your brotherhood. And some things I want to talk to you about briefly as we close out is, thank you so much for watching this video. But what I want to talk about quick is we have some merch coming up. We have some t-shirts that I have my buddy D-Saul coming up with, and I'm super excited about that. I'm going to have some things popping up here, maybe not in this video, but the next video coming up. And speaking of the next video, next month, May, which my birthday is May 1st, shout out to me. In May, we're going to be going over spiritual disciplines. We're going to talk about prayer. We're going to talk about studying the Bible, fasting, and then we're going to come back to community and what that looks like, because I think community is something we need to touch on furthermore. So I'm super excited. Be on the lookout for merch coming out. Let me know what you think. Give me some honest feedback. Let me know if it's sick or not, because I want to make sure that we have that available for you men. Go out there, take care of business. Super excited what the future holds for us.